Welcome to day 3 of our vlog. So if you've been following along with us, on day 1 we went to a Magic Kingdom Annual Pass Holder preview. Yesterday was the first opening day and we were in Animal Kingdom. Today we are going back to Magic Kingdom. So the parks are still where only Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom are currently open, but this will be our first time in Magic Kingdom with it being officially open. So the first day was just an Annual Pass Holder preview. We're really curious to kind of experience it today, see how if it's different with it being like the official open, if guests are, there's more guests or not. So we are really looking forward to kind of exploring it all today. We also, I think, are gonna leave Magic Kingdom and grab lunch at Kona Cafe. So we're excited to share all of it with you.
So if you get off a bus, you actually go through the temperature screening right over there. The ferry has their own temperature screening, the Contemporary does, and so does the Monorail. So there's really just screening for all temperature checks, regardless at Magic Kingdom where you come from. So there is a lot of social distancing markers here at the Magic Kingdom over by guest relations. So we just walked over this way to see what it was like, because this is where there was really long lines on opening day, as the guest relations booth. And so now they have quite a bit of markers down. There is still a decent line, but nowhere near the end. So I imagine they are all going to be well spaced out. So at the Animal Kingdom, they do have that awesome new security setup. Everything is touchless. You get to wear your bag. You don't have to open it or anything. You just walk through. Here at the Magic Kingdom, they are still using the old system, but they are not touching anything. You're opening your bag for them. They're just looking in. You're allowed to carry as much through as possible. If you have a camera or anything like that, you place it in a bin and they just slide that through. So there's very little touching, but it is still the old system. It's not quite as nice as the Magic Kingdom, but it's pretty seamless, and there is no contact during that security process, which is pretty nice. There's also no fingerprints, which is nice, and tons of spacing. So here on the first day where Magic Kingdom is open to the public, so far, I mean, we're not in yet, but outside of it, things look like they're gonna be a good day. So today is definitely the hottest day so far. It's only about 10 after 9, and it is unbelievably hot and humid, much more so than the last few days. I am glad we have a Kona today in the middle of the day, and we'll have to see how hot it is when we head over there to decide what we're gonna do this afternoon. But this will be a good test to see what it is like with a mask on in some unbelievable heat, because this is much more so than the last few days we've been in the park. So here's a look down Main Street. It's now 9:30. We've just walked around for a little bit up in the hub, or not the hub, but the entrance area by the train station. And it's definitely busier than the first day we were here, but it's not too bad. Given that this is the crowds half an hour in though on Main Street, I do wonder what it was like right at opening. We actually chose not to come right at opening just to avoid that extra crowd, and we'll see what the rest of the park looks like.
We just paused partway up Main Street just to kind of take it all in. So it's still magical walking up Main Street, but I would definitely say crowd-wise it's busier today than it was for the AP preview. It could be just because we were here earlier, but there's definitely more people coming in. I'll be really curious to see what ride times are like, so we'll keep you all posted on what that is like, since today's the official open, whereas Friday was the pass holder preview.
All right, so there was a little bit of a crowd on Main Street, but up here in the hub, it is empty. Again, it's 9:30-ish. Second day Magic Kingdom is open. Few groups taking pictures. For those people who asked, can you take your face mask off when you're taking a picture? The answer is no. Some people still are, and if cast members are around, they're telling them to put them back on. But for the most part, everybody is following the rules, and it is very quiet and very spaced out. So this is the crowd in Tomorrowland. Absolutely nobody, empty. Astro Orbiter's running. It looks like People Mover is still not running. We've got PhotoPass over here on the side to grab a reflection shot with the castle. And it is just very quiet. As soon as you leave the Main Street hub area, the further away you get, the fewer and fewer people you run into.
The PhotoPass cast members are out. There were a few on Main Street, and then we just got a photo with the one here in Tomorrowland, or entering into Tomorrowland. It's the same method as before, so you're gonna scan your Magic Band, they'll take your photos, and then it will show up in your My Disney Experience app.
In Magic Kingdom, we felt pretty comfortable doing every ride so far. The only one we're not going to do is Buzz Lightyear. Just using those guns doesn't seem like something that Sarah and I really want to do, especially considering it's not a ride we love anyways. But other than that, we felt like it's been pretty comfortable to go on any ride. There's been a ton of spacing, and we felt pretty safe so far.
We just checked the current wait times, and most stuff is still 5 minutes. Thunder Mountain, I think, was the longest currently at 35. And there were a couple others at 25. Splash Mountain and Pirates are temporarily closed, so this will happen every so often because they'll stop the ride and clean them, and then it will open back up. One other thing I did want to mention that I don't think we mentioned yet is that there aren't fast passes currently. So there are still accommodations for guests with disabilities and for child swap, but there aren't any fast passes, so you just go in the standby lane and kind of work your way through the line.
So here is what it looks like on Speedway with the social distancing. Stated about a 5-minute wait. There's not really many people on the bridge. They're trying to keep people out of the sun, it looks like, because the queues are so short. So most people are waiting back here. The teacups seem to be running at pretty close to full capacity. I think it's because each of the cups is more than 6 feet apart. There is a small line, but not much. So this one's probably moving pretty quickly, just considering it is running at full capacity. No real changes to how this ride is being done.
We are about to go on our first ride for the day, so we're gonna get on Pooh. I believe right now it is a 5-minute wait, so we'll see if we're just able to walk right on it.
5 minutes, and all of the interactive portions of the queue are turned off. It's not just this, it's on every queue. And as you can see, the rabbits play area for children, the entire thing is just roped off, keeping the queue moving. This one is going 1 party per vehicle, and they're keeping the spacing that way as well as in the queue. And here we go, row 1, it's our own vehicle to stay apart from each other.
He'll never reach that.
A very big waterfall. With you in a minute, Peglet. Ooh, too. Start the party without me.
So these signs are located everywhere, just reminding guests what they should and shouldn't be doing. But this one is right at the exit of Winnie the Pooh. So in the store, there are queue markers for checking out and spots to stand up at the register, but in terms of spacing throughout the actual store, it's just kind of relying on guests to kind of police that themselves. However, I will say this isn't probably the busiest store here.
So while we are in this store, they have some really cute wishables for the park. So these, I think, are on the Shop Disney online, but we just don't collect them. So this is my first time seeing them in person. But the Space Mountain one especially is really cute. And then they have another like Haunted Mansion series one down here. So there's some really cute wishables. How are you doing? We are just walking back into the farthest back part of Fantasyland. Right now back here it seems pretty quiet. So Dumbo seems pretty empty. We're gonna walk back and check out kind of what Barnstormer looks like, but yeah, back here it definitely feels less busy. Again, the park is still by no means like how it is normally, but I do think there's more crowds here today than there were for the Pass Holder preview.
Well, the only one looking to ride Dumbo right now seems to be this duck. There are 0 people here. Let's see, currently on the ride I saw 2 people and there's nobody in line. And they've only got one side running. Oh, it looks like they actually have both sides running. They're just not even running the other one currently, but it is open. And yeah, it is very quiet back here. So back this way is a relaxation zone. We'll go show you what that looks like. It's over to the side of the Storybook Circus tent. I don't know if we'll go in. We'll see if it's busy. If it is busy, we'll just show you from the outside. But yeah, pretty quiet. So even in the relaxation area, there are social distancing markers along the ground. And it is completely empty. Air conditioning is running. We've got the spots on the ground if you're gonna like stand. The tables are all spaced apart. But there are 0 people here, so it's awesome to come in, grab a little AC and relax. This one has amazing air conditioning. It is really well spaced out. It is indoors, which I guess is fine if you want that AC. But of the 2 relaxation stations here in the Magic Kingdom, I personally, even though it's going to be a little hotter, would probably do the Tomorrowland Terrace one. It's outdoors. It is more spread out. You still have the shade and stuff, so it's not that bad, but it just felt like a little bit safer of a place to be. Though I will say here right now there are 0 people. Things are going to be spread out, but if this were full, I honestly don't know how I would feel about being in here. So Barnstormer is empty. That's also a walk on. I've seen it go a few times now, and it looks like they're only filling 1 party, or there's only 1 party in line, and they're putting them at the front. It's usually taking up a couple of cars because the parties I've seen have been, 4 or 5 people. This next one only has 2 people on it, and they're in the front seat, and it is just as quiet as everything else back here. So here is the Tron construction. It is coming along really well. You can see the track, the building. They're starting to do the covering for the outdoor area. And it looks like it's coming along very quickly. And if you want to see what this is going to look like when it's finished, we'll put a link up here to our recent trip to Shanghai where we actually rode it this past December. But it is coming along very quickly here at Magic Kingdom.
We just spoke with a cast member about why some cast members are wearing a visor or a shield in front of it, so it's the plastic in addition to the mask. So all cast members have to wear a mask, and then the visors are going to be an option that is going to go, or a requirement I should say, that goes with certain positions. So here in Storybook Circus, the cast members have to wear a mask and the visor or a shield, so it'll be the plastic kind of covering their face. So that's why you'll see some cast members with just the mask, some cast members will have both the mask and the shield.
We're in Liberty Square, and we're just going to grab a quick snack. I think we're going to split a pretzel as we wait until lunch to really eat much. We didn't do breakfast at the hotel, so this will kind of hold us over until then. But even inside here, there are social distancing markers everywhere. And at least for now, they're only opening half of this food area. So we're up next. And this is the barrier they have separating cast members from guests. If you look, they just have a small opening where you make your payment, and it's keeping everybody safe. So it's one direction only. This is where you exit. Quite a few tables here are blocked off. I'm not exactly sure why in terms of every table is blocked. Maybe it's just to allow people to walk in here. But I would say over here, 80% of the tables have these markers on them. Whereas in most other places, it's only every other table. Here, like I said, there's one table here to sit at. There's a couple tables in the distance, but there's really about 80% of these tables are blocked off with no seating available.
For our snack, we got a Mickey pretzel with cheese, and we're sitting back again behind the Christmas tree shop because it's really quiet here again, so perfect snack to hold us over to lunch. We are just gonna pop on the ferry boat, so it is running. It looks like there's not many people on it, so we should be perfectly good getting socially distanced and just take a loop around town side of this island.
She's just spraying down the bench right now. That cleaning process is taking place right here on the boat, and she's walking around spraying every area that a guest could have touched, completely disinfecting the entire riverboat before the next set of guests come on board. Now, I don't know if they're doing this after every time, because this is our first time over here, or if we just happen to catch it at one of those disinfecting moments, but they are not doing this on every ride, at least not after every person, but they are periodically stopping all rides and disinfecting them entirely, running all the cars or trains or whatever ride vehicles there are through with no guests on it, making sure they're completely cleaned every once in a while. But again, this is what that cleaning process looks like here on the riverboat. Here we go on board the Liberty Belle. A total of 3 parties came on board. Lots of social distancing markers. And I think we're gonna head to the back, look around, see what it looks like on board, and then enjoy the breeze as we drive around. Kind of a cool view back here of the Haunted Mansion queue and the building. The line is significantly longer than it was yesterday. We walked straight on. Today they are all the way backed up to the outdoor queue, and it looks like it's actually wrapping around once. I see people walking in both directions. So even though there's some lines on the actual ride queues, walking through the park is relatively empty. You can see empty space there.
Going by right now, so it's not that free, but it's a single float.
Here we have Thunder Mountain. I can see the queue is backed up well outside. Tom Sawyer Island is running. There's a pretty decent queue to get on the raft going over. I count maybe 5 or 6 different parties going over there.
It was getting pretty hot, so as it gets later in the day, and this ferry boat is the perfect break. So if you're on the 2nd floor, you can have the shade and you get the breeze. And I like hearing kind of the information they share about kind of all the areas and the narrator of the boat. So this is beautiful right now.
We just got off the riverboat. It was a ton of fun. There was only the 3 parties on there, so there was a ton of space. You walked around, you got a chance to have a breeze in the shade, and it was a nice 15 minutes where we just didn't have to be in the direct sun. Got to kind of stand still and just cool off a little bit. So if you're hot here in Magic Kingdom and you're looking for an easy way to cool off without going indoors, the riverboat was a nice break for us.
You're welcome. I'll see you in your dreams. Ta-ta. Hello.
It is about 11:45 and we are gonna head over to the Polynesian. We have dining reservations at Kona Cafe, so we are gonna slowly walk out down Main Street. We're gonna take the ferry boat over and see what that experience is like, and that'll take us to the TTC, where it's just a short walk over to the Polynesian. So we're gonna go enjoy a lunch indoors in the AC, get out of the parks for a little bit and kind of just recharge before coming back this afternoon. So we are hopping onto the ferry boat. We're gonna take it over to TTC. There's no line currently. A group just got off the ferry boat, and there are 4 of them, and they're the only people who came over on it. So we're gonna hop on what I assume is an empty ferry. Once we get there, we'll make the short walk over to lunch at Kona Cafe.
This is my favorite one, Admiral Joe Fowler.
Here we go, Admiral Joe Fowler over to the TTC. Plenty of social distancing markers on board the ferry as well. They have them along the railings. Spots on the seat to sit and spots on the seat that are not available. Also spots to stand against the wall if you do not want to stand out along the railing, but it is very clearly spaced out where you should and should not be. We just got off the ferry boat, and that has been the most enjoyable experience of the day. That air conditioning, or not the air conditioning, but the breeze from being on the water is awesome. There were almost no people on it. It is partly because it's the middle of the day. I don't know what it's like in the morning, but it was an awesome time. Cooled us way down on our way to lunch, and if you need to get to the TTC or you need to get over to the Polynesian area, I would definitely recommend taking the ferry boat. It was really, really enjoyable. So there is a ton of social distancing markers here at the TTC. Hundreds of them, it looks like, to get you ready for the ferry boat. They extend all the way down there to the right. If we turn back all the way down to the ferry boat landing area. So there's a lot of markers available to kind of keep people spaced out appropriately.
We just made it over to the Polynesian, so I love this resort. I like it more than Jeff, but it has some of our favorite restaurants and bars. We're going to Kona Cafe for lunch, so we're really excited to see kind of how they handle this. We picked Kona because it has a lot of open space. So we're trying not to eat indoors, so this one kind of like breathes out into the lobby, so it's not as confined. And then when we just walked into the Polynesian from the TTC, no one stopped us from coming onto the resort. So typically, I think you're supposed to have a reservation to be able to get on the resort. But in this case, since we walked, nobody stopped us.
So here's the hidden Mickey as soon as you walk into the Polynesian, right on the floor. And here is the lobby. And if you're not familiar, Kona Cafe is going to be on the second floor, right over here, right above this boutique tiki store. Kona Cafe, they're not sitting anybody by the railings. And then inside there is a ton of space in between tables. Nobody's even anywhere near each other. It's a similar setup to Nomad Lounge. There is a one-time use scan menu, so you can check it out on your phone. So here's the bread service that comes out before your meal with some butter.
Our appetizer just came out, and these are pork pot stickers, and they look really good. I can't wait to give those a try. And then our drinks just came as well, so we both went with a raspberry mojito. We just finished up the pot stickers appetizer, and I had some of my mojito, and both of them were really good. The pot stickers especially were fabulous. So I don't know what the sauce was with them, but it was delicious.
I got the chicken stir fry. It looks outstanding. And Sarah got a vegetarian bowl, which comes with tofu. And that also looks really good. We'll let you know how everything is after we eat it.
We just finished up our lunch at Kona Cafe, and we had the appetizer was the pot stickers, and then we each got the entree. So Jeff went with a stir fry, and I went with a vegetable bowl. All of it was really good. So it's a reduced menu, but we felt there were still a lot of different choices that you could have. You scanned the menu when you first came in. Everything went very smoothly, and the tables were spread out really well. So we really enjoyed it. And we felt really safe the entire time we were having lunch. So we're trying to keep more outdoory feel ones. And this worked out great for us. And also it provided the perfect break from the heat in the park. So this worked out really, really well.
There's a lot of social distancing markers out here at the monorail. And here it is. It's a middle of the afternoon, and it is pretty much empty. So this one's going to be leaving. We're going to be on the next one, and in between each little mini cabin is a divider, which we'll show you once we get on.
We are on the monorail, so we have our own space here, and then there's the divider directly behind you that separates you from the other party on the other side. So you you get your own space regardless of how busy it is. And then masks are required. So we asked the cast member and they said that they are required. It's a little hard to enforce because there aren't cast members like physically in the monorail, but they are supposed to be worn at all times in the monorail.
All right, so we are now at Magic Kingdom. We just got off the monorail. It is really well done, tons of space. It was quick and easy, and I will say we like that better than the boats, but the ferry was still our preferred method so far, just with the breeze being out on the water. It was beautiful, but the monorail was really easy, convenient, no wait, security was simple, and I would say it's a nice mode of transportation if you're at a hotel that offers it. We are now back in Magic Kingdom after lunch, and it is just unbelievably hot here. It is the hottest day I think we've had this year between our few days at Universal Studios and the days we've had here. I mean, it is summer here in Orlando, so it's not surprising that it is hot and humid, but it is unbearably hot at midday, which is why we decided to go take a quick lunch break, which was awesome, air conditioned, all of that. So it did kind of recharge us for this afternoon. I would definitely recommend doing that if you are here during the summer months. It just does help out quite a bit. I will though say that with this heat, the crowds are incredibly small relative to what they were this morning. People have just left the park, and I'll show you Main Street here in just a second, but you'll kind of get a sense if you compare it to what we had earlier in the day, just how many fewer people are now here. And if you see these cast members in yellow with the Mickey masks, they are the ones who are around, and their sole purpose is to ask people and make sure people are using their face masks in the appropriate way, and you'll kind of notice them throughout the park. So I'm in the confectionery right now, and there is an opening walking to where you can buy all the hats, which is normally here. I'm going to show you the other side where you'd walk down towards the art store, and that is actually closed off. So in the Main Street shops, it does seem like some of the walkways are remaining open while others are closing. And I guess it's just going to kind of depend on which store you're in, whether or not you can continue down walking inside, because they are counting how many people are in the stores. They are maintaining social distancing in the stores, and they're very empty, at least at this point in the day, and there's only one entrance and one exit, so they're doing a good job maintaining that spacing inside, similar to how they're doing outside. And here's that closed walkway I was talking about. Normally you could go right through these doors, continuing on down to the art store and then to the clothing and the purses and all of that. But you're no longer able to do that. You now have to go outside and re-enter, and I think that's simply just to ensure that they know how many people are in each store. And there are only certain exits, just like there's only certain entrances, so this would be an exit-only door. And if I want to go next door, I just go out and just head right back in one store down. There are still plenty of PhotoPass people out, especially on Main Street, which is nice. So if you want to grab that photo with your mask on, of course, they are available here. They're just scanning your Magic Bands as usual, and it'll show up in the My Disney Experience app. But it is still nice, and where there would normally be huge lines for this, we've experienced maybe 2 or 3 groups at the most, and even they have the spacing for the PhotoPass as well. But it is a great opportunity to get a Main Street shot if you're looking for it. We're going to do the photo shot now that has the magic effect where it zooms really far out and you get to see everybody, but it'll be kind of fun today because there's going to be so few people. Once it zooms out, you'll see how empty the park is. We just did 3 or 4 different PhotoPass spots around the hub and Main Street, and now we're gonna head back and check out a ride or two. We might head over to Small World to start, just because it's air conditioned indoors and it's one we haven't done yet. But we will see as we kind of walk through the back areas where we go to next.
We are just inside of It's a Small World, so it's gonna probably be only like a 5-minute wait, pretty quick, onto the boats.
So for our boat, we have a party in row 1, and then Sarah and I are in 5, and our friends Tina and Jeff are in 6, but we're one party, that's why. Here we all are, Yay! Tina, Jeff behind us, Sarah and I up here, and then there's a couple of empty rows in front of us before the next party is in row 1.
can get free cups of water still at any quick service location. So we just went to the door. That's where they'll ask if you have a mobile order. Just tell them you don't, you just want glasses of water. The cast member just said keep going straight ahead, and then there was another cast member that greeted us and then took us right to a counter, got the water, handed them to us, and we were good to go. So it's so easy, especially with how hot it is today. You just gotta make sure you stay hydrated. So the free water is an easy way to kind of keep on top of that.
Crowds have significantly died down here this afternoon. I think it's just because of the heat, and the short lines means that if you are here in the morning, you can get a lot done really quickly. But we're just back by the carousel, and there is so much empty space everywhere. Very minimal crowds here this afternoon as compared to this morning where they were a lot larger.
We got off of Small World, and all the social distancing down there was really good. So they had us in the back, and then there's gap rows, and then there was a couple in the front. So that worked really well. We then grabbed the water, and now we are going to head over and ride Little Mermaid again. So we're looking for rides with good air conditioning right now because it is still really hot.
You're headed back on Little Mermaid. It does have a really pretty queue out here with all the water and the rock work. It's just not a queue you usually go through, but it is really nice.
Right now we are paused on Little Mermaid, and if you look around the corner, there's a lot of people, so it's a little hard to see, but they're taking that same spray wand that they had on the Riverboat, and they're spraying each ride vehicle down. So everything should be clean by the time we get up there. So again, they're like pausing the line to go through clean all of the ride vehicles, and then we get on it. All right, we're about to get on. It was about 10-minute backup with the cleaning.
That's what this story's all about. Hey, where you been? I've been waiting for you. Oh, this is such a great story about how Ariel became a human. But that Ursula, oh, she's so mean.
We just got off of Little Mermaid, and this was our first time actually experiencing a stop in the queue because they were cleaning the ride. So what happened, as Sarah kind of mentioned in there, is that we got to a certain point and the ride queue stopped for probably about 10 minutes. What was happening is they were actually going through and cleaning every single vehicle, emptying the ride entirely before putting passengers or guests back on. So that did take about 10 minutes, but all in all, I think that was about the only wait we had. Other than that, it was almost a walk-on. The ride was clean because of that, so it was a small price to pay. We didn't mind. It was indoors, air-conditioned, and there was great social distancing on the ride as usual, and it was a fun little escape from the heat today. So overall, it's been a great day. I think we're just gonna walk around, do a small lap again before heading out and getting to our new hotel for tonight.
I just wanted to do a quick check-in. So overall, I would say the park is still not very busy. It might have a little bit more people than the pass holder preview, but it's still very spread out, and it's not anything like normal park capacity, which I appreciate. It is very hot, so it's Florida in July, which you would expect. We are definitely still okay in our masks, but we're definitely looking for more like air conditioning, and I think Little Mermaid wins so far with the best cold air conditioning. Just for our general plans going forward, tomorrow we will be at Animal Kingdom, and then the day after that we're back at Magic Kingdom. And so we're thinking on a weekday it's going to be even less busy than it is here today. So we're looking forward to kind of experiencing those. For now, we were going to walk them around a little bit more before heading to the hotel. Okay, the sun just came out, so it got extra hot again. So we are going to take one last walk up Main Street for today and then head over to our new hotel for the night, which is the Four Seasons. We've never stayed here before, so we're really excited to see how a night here goes. And tomorrow again, we will be at Animal Kingdom, and on Tuesday we will be back in Magic Kingdom. So we're really excited, and thank you all for following along. Can't wait to share tonight with you at the hotel. Here's a room tour for our standard king room at the Four Seasons. When you walk in, you're going to have a closet space directly on your left. So this is a really nice place to kind of store your luggage. Over here is going to be the bathroom area. So the bathroom is beautiful. There's a full soaking tub. You're going to have 2 sinks, and there is a toilet and then a really nice shower. So lots of space in the bathroom is really, really nice finishes. If I come out here, I'll show you the main bedroom area. So you're gonna have a TV right here, and there's a desk area with the couch and the bed. So it's all really, really nice. They do a turn down service, so you can have them come in and do that. There is an espresso machine. And then if I come around here, probably my favorite part is going to be the balcony. So I'll walk over here, pause it, and then I will go out and show you guys that. Out here is the balcony, which is really nice. So there's plenty of space with the 2 chairs. They even have the little like footrest. And then if you look over here, you're gonna have Golden Oaks down below. And then off in the distance is going to be downtown Orlando, I think. Those are really nice view. Thank you all so much for following along with us on day 3. Last night we actually went and had dinner, came up to the room and completely passed out, so we forgot to record it last night. But I just wanted to pop on right now and say thank you all so much for following along. We can't wait to go to Animal Kingdom and share this next day with you.